All right, well, we're out at the outdoor now, and we've already done a couple tests before we get out here. The first thing is we check the heat exchanger on the furnace. The second thing is we check the indoor coil to make sure that there was no leaks on the air conditioning inside coil itself. And so they both passed, or if they don't pass, we still want to come out here and verify that the compressor is okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be megging out the compressor, just to make sure that in the windings all the insulation is good and they're solid, so that we have a good compressor. Now what's really important is when you're doing a scroll compressor, you want to make sure that you turn it on and let it run for a few moments, because you want that oil to warm up in that scroll compressor to not give you a false positive. And on the reciprocating compressor, you don't really have to do that. You should be able to test it right away. But we like to make sure that we're getting the right test. Now, when we're doing heating or cooling, it doesn't matter. We want to make sure that we're checking, when we're doing the inside stuff, we check to make sure there's no leaks on the indoor coil. On the air conditioning itself. I know you're not there for air conditioning, but it's really critical, because this is what makes us great. Not good, but great. Now, we're getting ready to meg out this unit. What we want to do is take a quick snapshot of where all the wires are, just in case you forget or there is no wiring diagram. Take a quick snapshot picture. Now we've got it. We know where the wires go. If you reverse them, that's going to become a problem. You could have a motor that goes backwards or whatever else, but I'd rather you get it right. All right, next step is, this is our meg meter. It's going to tell us whether you're below. It's going to say bad, caution, good, or so if you're within the range and it's good, great. If you're in caution, obviously you've got to let the customer know. We're going to go and we're going to take off the wires for the compressor. Now, before we start, it's really important that you disconnect the electric. Very, very critical. We're not operating this thing with the electric on. Just shut it off. Turn it off on the inside as well, so that contactor's not pulled in. We're going to remove the wires from the compressor. Now we're going to connect one side of the meg meter, and then we're going to go on to ground. We're going to find a good ground, somewhere where we can get a good ground. Even on a screw, if you want, you can push, and this is showing that it's good. It's in that range. If you want to try and make sure you have a good ground, you want to go somewhere else, you're still showing that it's good. All right, then we go to the next wire just to make sure. We know we're fine, but let's go to the next winding on there and do the same thing. Go here, push it, and we may not have a good ground, so let's go here. All right. Now, one of the things you want to make sure too, that the wire is not touching part of the ground there, because when you put it on, you're going to get a false reading. As you can see, it says bad. Really critical that you make sure all your wires are pushed back so you can test this compressor. So we go back and it shows good. We go to the next wire and we do the same thing. Now remember, don't let this touch, because that's going to be a problem. And we're going to go here and it checks out good. Excellent. All right, so now if you're not sure where the wires go, you'll go back to your picture and you'll put the wires back in. If it megs out that it's in caution mode or bad mode, you're going to call for a second opinion, get your supervisor out here, also let the customer know what's going on, and you'll be able to take it from there. Thank you. Okay, so let's recap. Step number 1, disconnect or shut off the power supply at the outdoor. Step number 2, take a picture of where the wires go if you do not have a wiring diagram. Step number 3, remove the wires and start your testing. Step number 4, if it passed, put it back together. If it failed, let the customer know of your findings and call the supervisor for a second opinion.